Thank you for that. Units closed in June for Broward County. Since our office is in Broward County, the Aventura office, I know you guys are in Dade County, and you're still selling lots of houses in Broward County. And for those of you who are out of state, pull these numbers for your local market. You want to keep up to date with what's going on in your market because you are a local economist of choice. You are, here you go, write this down. You are a local market expert. You are a strategic pricing professional, and you are a competitive marketing specialist. I'll repeat it for you one more time. And this is being recorded, so you can go back and listen to it later. Plus, it's live on my Facebook page. You are a local market expert. You are a strategic pricing professional, and you are a competitive marketing specialist. That is your unique value proposition. That is why someone should hire you. All right, in June, there were 4,697 units closed. That includes single-family homes, condos, villas, and townhomes in Broward County. 4,697. In July, 4,138. In August, 3,776. Now that's a decrease of 19.6% from June to August. Looking at properties that are $750,000 plus, same location, there were 747 properties sold in June. There were 563 sold in July and 534 in August. That's a decrease from June to August of 28.5%. Shifts show up in the luxury market first. Now, listen to this. Now, let me give this a disclaimer. Part of this may be because most of our closings happen in the second half of a month. So when you hear these numbers, don't freak out. I don't want to see anybody jump off the call and go apply at Starbucks when I share these numbers for you. All right. Through the 15th of September, there have been 1,241 property units closed in Broward County. That's tracking 2,500. That's a decrease of 33% from the previous month. Wow. Let me share it with you like this. So in June, there were 4,697 units closed. In September, we're tracking 2,500. It's a big change, isn't it? Yeah. Now, $750,000 plus, we're tracking 344 closings for the month of September. We are currently at 172, tracking 344. Now, there were 747 properties sold, units closed in June, $750,000 or higher. And for the month of September, we're tracking 344. By the way, that's a decrease of 36% just from last month. All right, nobody left the room and nobody jumped off Zoom. That's cool. I'm glad we didn't lose anybody. Really glad to hear that. Now, that said, do you think this is important information to know? Do you think this is important information to share when you're sitting down at the kitchen table and talking to a seller? You're on a listing presentation, or you're talking to somebody that you currently have listed and they're asking you, why haven't I got an offer yet? Is this important information to know? Is it important to share? And why? That's your cue to talk.
Well, that's where your value comes in.
Okay.
So let them know that the market is slowing down.
I mean, that's what they're paying you for, right, Clarissa? They're not buying a house from you. They're buying your expertise, your knowledge, your skills. Now, there's a second part to knowing this information, and I'm not going to ask you, I'll just tell you. It's being able to convey it. It's being able to convey it in a way that you are helping your seller, your client, self-discover the right strategy in order to get their home sold versus selling and telling, which you don't want to do. You want to consult your way to success, and that takes skill. Now, here's what Gary has to say in tactic number 7, and this is the drive home point. I want you to listen really carefully. First of all, quote at the top, oh, I'm on page 135 at the top of the page. The ability to learn faster than your competitors. Are your competitors having these conversations? Say no, they're not. So the advantage for you is you're in this conversation. The ability to learn faster than your competitors may be the only sustainable competitive advantage. The ability to learn faster than your competitors may be the only sustainable competitive advantage. In other words, it's a big deal. Now, he begins the chapter with the moment the media declares a real estate shift, which, by the way, they haven't because they're not pulling the data that we are. The media is still telling everybody that we're in the hottest real estate market since somebody at the house. By the way, they're wrong. The moment the media declares a real estate shift, it's as if the market just got doused in a cold shower. The result is fearful buyers, pickier buyers, and eventually fewer buyers. Now, this is a conversation I'm having at the listing table. I might even pull out a copy of Shift and I might read this to the homeowner and say, listen, I need you to understand this because here's the market that we're in and nobody knows it yet. The good news for you is I do, and I'm going to share that information with you. And by the way, that's going to give you a competitive advantage over everybody else who's trying to sell their home. Script, right? All right, middle of the page. Sellers who are slow to recognize this shift will quickly become overpriced and consequently be overlooked. When the market shifts, first buyers and then sellers become overly guarded and set in motion another intriguing game of the price is right. In this version, instead of guessing, there is no in this version, sorry, where was I? In this version, instead of guessing there is no top, buyers now predict there is no bottom. So the market that we were in, there was no top. Just keep bidding the price up. And when the buyers start to realize things are shifting, now their perception is there's no bottom. And then you're going to get offers. Wait for it, because it's going to happen. You're going to have a $500,000 listing and you're going to get an offer for $425,000. And your seller's going to go, what the heck? These people are nuts. It'll happen. It doesn't mean it's worth $425, by the way. It's just a buyer's overreaction to sensing that there's a shift in the market. When previously there were aggressively pushing prices forward, now they're equally aggressive in trying to pull them back. The truth is the market remains full of people who genuinely want to buy and sell. Boy, that's so important for you to hear because otherwise you're just hearing doom and gloom. What Gary just said is no matter what happens, there are always going to be plenty of people who want to buy and people who want to sell. Always. The worst housing market our country has ever seen was between 2007 and 2012. And the Dietz team was selling real estate in that market. And we were selling more homes every year than we were in 2004, 2005, and 2006 before the market shifted. We were selling more homes, not less, in the worst market our country has ever seen. Now, don't hear that as bragging. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress upon you that if I can, you can. It's a skill-based market. This is where you have an advantage over your competition. By the way, prior to the shift, if you're like me, if you're like any other real estate agent, you love to see where you are in the game. In other words, I would go into the market stats every month and I would see where the Dietz team ranked, right? And prior to 2006, we didn't get close to the top 100. I mean, nobody knew who we were. And by 2008, we were number 5 in the county. Again, I'm not trying to impress you. What I want you to hear is if I can, you can. Here's the really cool news. When a market shifts, it's an opportunity to gain market share. And when you, whatever you gain, you're never going to give it back. It's a market of opportunity. So don't look at what I'm sharing with you as bad news. This is good news if you know how to succeed in a shifting market, which you do because you're on this call. All right. Page 136. Second paragraph, a shift exposes and magnifies the classic real estate price conflict that has always existed. The asking price a seller wants versus the price a buyer is willing to pay. Who picks the selling price? When you're listed, good, you answered it the right question. You answered it the right way because I asked the wrong question. Who picks the list price?
The seller.
I love the answers. Are like, I think it's the seller, so I'm going to say it.
The seller. The seller.
You're really soft, just in case I'm wrong. You do.
No.
Yes, you do. Now let me pay. I love that. She's challenging me. Way to go, Adriana. Okay. The seller. You're gonna present them with the comparables. And Adriana, yes. I'm gonna share with you. These are the comparables that we're looking at. This is what the market looks like. This is supply and demand. By the way, before we finish, I'm going to show you the formula for supply and demand again, because it's really important. I'm going to show you all of the data, and then I'm going to say, hey, based on what we're looking at here, Adriana, where do you see your home selling? What's the right price for us to put your home on the market in order to get your home sold, scrapped in the next 30 days? It's okay. It's just the loudest phone ring I've ever heard in my life. Where's the right list price in order to get your home sold in the next 30 days so that you can move to Atlanta in order to be with your family? Logic makes us think, emotion makes us act. I'm going to tie it into the answer. Now, Adriana, the market says your home is worth $500,000. It says your home is going to sell between $490,000 and $500,000. And you tell me, John, I want $550,000. The seller picks the list price. However, as a real estate agent, it is my job to help you discover the truth. It is my job to help you make the right decision based on right information. Because if I'm the average real estate agent, I'm so glad to get a listing. I don't even pay attention to any of this. And I'm going to say, yep, $550 sounds good. Let's put it on the market. Now, because I am a local market expert, because I am a strategic pricing professional, and because I am a competitive marketing specialist, I know that $550 is the wrong price if we want to sell your home. Now, if our goal is to sell somebody else's home, then it's the right price. Now, one of the questions that I would ask is, Shirley, if the market says no to $550, what's plan B?
Lower the price.
Okay. Shirley, if you knew that your home was going to sell for $500, it's a hypothetical question. Don't get mad at me. If you knew, it's a script, including the laugh, guys, pay attention. If you knew your home was going to sell for $500,000, would you rather sell for $500,000 in the next 30 days? Or 6 months from now?
500
next 30
now.
days.
Yeah, I agree. And if the market says your home is going to sell for $490,000 to $500,000, if you were a buyer, how much are you offering?
450.
No more than 500. No more than 500.
Adriana, you and I are friends again. I like that. Okay, Adriana, it's your house and a buyer is going to offer you 450 and you want to price your home at 550.
Yes, because I'm asking at my agent to make the comparables.
Yeah.
And for my agent, the price is 500.
Okay. All right, let's go to the whiteboard. You're not going to be able to see me, guys, but you know what I look like, so who cares? I want you to be able to see this, right? Market says the right price is 500. The home is more than likely going to sell 490 to 500. I want 550 because I need the money. Seller script. Because a buyer can always make an offer. Seller script. Because I can always lower my price later. Seller script. Because I put $50,000 in improvements, Lucas, and I need the money in order to recover that money. Seller script, right? And the bottom line is a buyer doesn't care how much money you need. They don't care how much money you've put into updating the house. They don't care that you feel that your home is worth 550. They're going to offer what they believe is market value. And what typically happens, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is when a home goes on the market day 0, the number of people who are looking at that property is going to peak somewhere around day number 30. And you need eyes on your home in the first 30 days. If people aren't looking at your home in the first 30 days, then we're missing the window of opportunity to get that property sold. Now, remember, there's still a shortage of inventory, which means the day your home goes on the market, all of the buyers who have been looking for a home but haven't found what they're looking for yet are going to look at your listing. And they're immediately going to make a judgment. They're going to make a judgment based on your asking price. And they're going to either judge your home as someone who is serious about selling their home, or they're going to judge it as overpriced and unrealistic. Yeah. Now, what typically happens is somewhere around 90 days on the market, that same homeowner will come to me and they'll say, you know what, John, you were right. Go ahead and lower the price to $500,000. The problem is we missed the best time to get your home sold. We've missed the window of opportunity. Now, somewhere around 120 days on the market, a buyer is going to come in. This is being recorded, guys, and every single word of this is script. This is going to be one of the hardest scripts for you to learn because it's the longest, but it's a script, I promise you. Somewhere around 120 days, the good news on that is you can learn it. If I can, you can. All right, somewhere around 120 days on the market, a buyer is going to come in and they're going to love your home. And by the way, I'm sitting at the kitchen table with a legal pad and I'm drawing this as I'm teaching. I'm a teacher, so are you. As I'm teaching my customer how to get their home sold in this market. All right, somewhere around 120 days on the market, a buyer is going to come in, they're going to love your home. The first question they're going to ask is, how many days has it been on the market? The agent's going to say 120 days. The next question they're going to ask is, what's wrong with it? The agent's going to say nothing. Now, the next thing is they're going to think, opportunity. I can get a deal. And they're going to offer maybe $470. That's good. That's lucky. Now, as a seller, Maria, is your position stronger at 30 days or is it stronger at 120 days? 30 days. Who has the advantage at 120 days, the buyer or the seller? The buyer. Who has the advantage at 30 days? The seller.
The seller.
What typically happens is the seller is more motivated, desperate possibly, and they accept the offer. They sell their home for $470,000 and they're not happy. They might even be angry at me, but they sold their house and they lost $30,000 trying to make an extra $50,000. And they have an extra 90 days of holding cost at an average of $4,000 a month for mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA fees. So there's another $12,000 that they paid not to sell their home, and they lost $42,000 trying to make an extra $50,000. All right, what they're doing at 550 is they're fishing with their bait out of the water. Now, based on that information, Diane, what should we do?
You suggest 500.
No. I don't want to disagree with you, but pay really close attention. Based on this information, Diane, what should we do? List for $500,000?
Yes.
I agree. You ready to get started?
Absolutely.
There. That's the conversation. Now, who determined the list price? The seller or the real estate agent? Real estate agent. It's your job. You guys get that?
Yeah.
All right, because I promised, I'm going to do it really quick here. Supply and demand. You've got subject property, and you've got a radius around that subject property of 2 to 3 miles. It could be more, it could be less. It depends on how many homes are in that area. The fewer homes, the farther out you're going to go. The more homes, the smaller that circle. Now, A, and we're looking at $50,000 increments. In other words, 500 to 550, or 550 to 600, or 6 to 650, and so on. A is the number of active properties within that area. Let's just say for this example, we're looking at $500 to $550,000. And we're only looking at single family homes because the subject property is a single family home. If it's a condo, I'm only looking at condos. If it's a townhome, I'm only looking at townhomes. A is the number of properties that are inside that circle that are active between 500 and 550. B is the solds in the same area in the same price range for the last 6 months. That's important. Go back 6 months. Number of solds in the last 6 months in the same area in the same price range. C is B divided by 6. In other words, if there were 18 sold, we would divide 18 by 6, which is 3. So C is 3. That's how many homes are selling every 30 days. C is how many homes are selling every 30 days. And in order to find out how many homes are selling every 30 days, we take B and we divide it by 6. D is the inventory. This is the magic number that you're looking for. This tells us what the supply and demand is. This tells us how many months of inventory there is available within that price range, within this location. Now, B is A divided by C. It's the number of active listings divided by the number that are selling every 30 days. If there are 6 active listings and there are 3 selling every 30 days, we've got 60 days of inventory. Now, that's a seller's market. However, in a seller's market where there's fewer properties being sold, it's important that you don't allow the seller to overprice the property based on what's happened in the last 90 days, because this is not the last 90 days. You still have to be one of the top 3 properties to get your home sold out of 6. You still have to beat the competition. Now, you don't have a lot of competition. There's only 6 homes, but you got to be one of the top 3 to sell. And you've got to be one of the top 3 in location, size, condition, and amenities. Price is the next part of that. Location, size, in other words, square footage, beds and baths, amenities, pool, no pool, jacuzzi, screened pool, not screened pool, and condition. The size of the lot's important, but it's not that important. Not in this conversation. Because it's not going to be that much different. You know, you're not going to have one property that's on a ½ acre and then another one that's on 4 acres. They're going to be similar. It might be a little different, but it's not that important. All right, location, backs to a pond versus backs to a busy street. Big difference. Size, the square footage under air, how many beds and baths it has, condition, updated, not updated, amenities, pool, no pool. All of these things are going to factor in to how competitive you are within that price range. Here's the formula you're looking for. Top third in location, size, and condition. Bottom third in price within that price range. So again, if we're 500 to 550, that's my competition. If there's 9 for sale and 3 selling every 30 days, and I need to be one of the top 3, I've got to be one of the top 3 in location, size, and condition, and one of the bottom 3 in price. That's how you win the competition. By the way, that doesn't mean in 90 days, all the inventory goes away. That doesn't mean if we list your home, it's guaranteed to sell in the next 90 days because new homes are coming on the market every day. It's possible that you could be in a 90-day supply of inventory and never sell. That's called an expired listing. That means the market rejected the offer. All right, guys, that was a ton of information. I hope you got your money's worth. Remember, it was free. And give me some ahas. Diane.
So this is, you know, all the coaches, including yourself, you know, we've been talking about supply and demand and how to get to that formula. But this information here, and I may have heard it and it just never really stuck. When you say the top 3 is based on location, size, amenities, and condition, and the bottom 3 is based on price, are you saying the top 3 homes that are for sale or the top?
Sorry. In order to be one of the 3 that sell, if you're in a market where 3 are selling every 30 days, in order to sell your home, you've got to be one of the top 3 properties. Buyers are looking at all of the inventory and they're going to make a decision on which one they make an offer on. And in order to be one of the 3, you have to be one of the top 3. In order to be one of the top 3, you have to be top third in condition, location, and amenities, and bottom third in price. So if there's 12 homes for sale, you've got to be one of the top 4 in location, size, and condition. You got to be one of the bottom 4 in price. Nick?
How often are you going to update that? Because you said that there's new houses listed every single day. So you're against new competition. How often do you?
Really good question. Really smart question too, by the way, Nick. Good for you. Weekly. Yeah, I'm going to call my seller every week, whether we had any showings or not. I'm calling once a week and we're going to talk about the market. And one of the things we're going to talk about is what the market looks like today versus when we put your home on the market, right? If a property went under contract, we're going to talk about that because that's one of the homes you were competing against that was chosen over yours. We're going to talk about that. Vicki, your hand is up.
Hi, how are you? Thank you. This was amazing information. So my take on this is that for us to be prospecting, to get opportunity, we need to be doing research. And our research, basically, just like you said, is we need to go and find out what's been sold, what's active, what's pending, finding out in the last 6 months, you know, what the numbers are. So when we go to door knocking or making phone calls, we know the numbers and where they are, if they're even interested, so we can bring value.
That's what you're getting paid for. That's extremely important. And that's the difference between the average real estate agent and a local market expert. Shirley, Rashad, and then Clarissa.
You just said it. It ties into what Vicki said. We are the local market experts, and we have to relate. We have to show our value to the clients.
Yeah, that's what we're getting paid for. Absolutely. Rashad.
So from my aha was, it's such a simple conversation at the kitchen table, as in, you know, pulling out the notebook and drawing it out just like you did. And it's simple as that. You know, we inform our, you know, clients and, you know, add value to their lives.
There it is. Absolutely. By the way, it's what they want. They may not like it, but it's what they want. Now, one of the things you get really good at is having good doctor talk or medical speak, having good bedside manner. If I'm talking to a doctor and they're giving me, bless you, and they're giving me bad news, I want the bad news. I don't want a doctor who's going to say, look, you've got this, and it's, you know, whatever this is, I'm not going to say it because obvious reasons. You've got this, and whatever this is really serious, right? And the doctor says, you've got this, but don't worry about it. No big deal. Everything's going to be okay. I don't want that. I want the doctor who's going to be honest with me, but I also don't want the doctor who says, look, dude, it's horrible. There's no chance of you beating this. I don't want that doctor either. You got it? There's a difference. Clarissa.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my 32 years. So you know the teacher is always there. But what's important is when the student shows up. So again, over the past, year and a half, I've seen you do that picture at least 7, 8 times.
Yeah.
Because I've been through you recording a 14-step presentation. No, minimum 10 times. But you gave us the 3 value pieces. To be a strategic pricing professional. It's almost a must that you go through that diagram and you explain to them why it's important that we price just right. One of the things you said, the market, not me being your agent, but the market will determine whether the listing price is overpriced and unrealistic.
Yeah.
And this is how you show them that diagram that I've seen you do it at least 10 times, but it just resonated. It just all became clearer.
Love it.
So I just showed up as a student. I'm sorry.
There you go. No, it's okay. And script, the market is talking. Here's what it's saying. Great script when you're talking to a seller who's already listed with you and you're not getting any offers, you're not getting the showings you should be getting, and the seller's looking at you and saying, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to get my home sold? And my response would be, well, the market's talking. Here's what it's saying. Unfortunately, the market is rejecting our offer, not your offer. The market is rejecting our offer. Now we have 3 choices here. We can stay where we're at and hope things get better. We can take your home off the market and try again a year from now, and hopefully the market's better. or we can aggressively make a change in order to put you in the right position to get an offer and get your home sold in the next 30 days. Now, which of those three do you want to do? One of the best lessons I learned from Tony DeCello when he was my coach many, many years ago was, and we had 50, 60 active listings at the time. And that was a market where 1 out of 5 properties listed was going to sell. You guys hear that? 4 out of 5 were not going to sell. And Tony told me, John, send them a market update, send them an updated supply and demand analysis, and then send them 2 status change forms. One is to lower the price by 5 to 10%, and the other is to withdraw the listing, and ask them to sign whichever one they want. Now, how do you think I felt about that? Sick to my stomach. Are you kidding me? Oh no. I mean, that's sitting at the poker table and pushing all your chips out there and going, okay, here I go. I'm either going to win big or I'm going to lose everything. Not a good feeling. But he was right. You should ask, did I take his advice? The answer would be no, I did. I was a wimp. All right. I kind of did. I selectively took his advice. How's that? Kina, talk to me. You're on mute.
Yes. Hi, John. So I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm thinking about conversation with people when they ask you how's the market, and you dig deeper into being able to explain. So in my mind, and when we listen to Current Matters and so on, we say that yes, there's buyer resistance just to slow the pace of the market, but it's still a good market. How does my conversation change now to be smarter in what I'm saying, or more? Yeah. Well,
ask me how the market is.
How the market is, John. How's the market doing, John?
Yeah, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on where your home is. It depends on what type of home you have, single family, condo, townhome. It depends on price range. The market's different. We're actually in a market that is changing pretty drastically, and it's changing very quickly. And we have one market that is still a red hot seller's market, and we have another market that's becoming a buyer's market. And in order for us to know which one of those you're in, we would need to get together and look at an X-ray. See, if you walked into my office and I'm a doctor and you said, my arm hurts. It hurts really bad, as a matter of fact, right here. The doctor, hopefully, if they're a good doctor, they're going to say, well, we need to take an X-ray. If you walk into a doctor's office and you go, my arm hurts right here, and it hurts really bad. And the doctor says, well, jump up there on that table and let's open you up and take a look at it. Run. It's the wrong doctor. It's the same conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In order to know what market you're in, we need to take an X-ray.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Diane.
Not today, because I know the time is limited, but is it possible for us during master the conversation at 9:30, maybe even starting next week, we can actually do this on here in front of you? I've
been waiting for that. I've been waiting for you guys to change the conversation, right? Who drives the conversation during script practice? You do.
Okay, because I know it could take a few more minutes, so.
It's 100% okay. Yeah.
Question.
Wendy.
What is the best way and fastest to get update on the market so we're able to answer these questions?
Learn how to get into your MLS and do these searches. It's not hard. It really isn't. When you first do this, it'll take you probably an hour to do it. And the more you do it, you'll be able to do this in 5 or 10 minutes. So just get into the MLS and practice. Okay. Clarissa.
Do we have access to the logic data that you present?
No idea. I really don't. I get that from broker metrics. Don't know. I don't know if you have access to that or not. Sorry, that's a terrible answer, but it's
We have trend.
it's correct. Yeah. Yeah. You could do the same thing in the MLS, by the way.
I saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
I just happened to be playing.
Aaron.
No, I was just going to piggyback up on what Diane said, Diane. I think that if you are going to do that, you should actually have a farm area that you're actually focusing on, actually doing it with real use.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Great call, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to go over time. It's 9:47, so I'm going to skip time to get to work. For those of you who that's absolutely the best part of your day, joking. I apologize for skipping that today. And let's see.